welcome to Chopped Greens. I'm your host, Philip Amerine, sitting alongside the lovely Patty Mays.
Hello.
And then, of course, there's Gareth Boucher.
Caesar is my name now.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to be his son, Cornelius.
See, there's a lot of old-time classical names in this film, and I have a deep appreciation.
I love it. It just adds to it, man. It's so cool.
I've always wanted
Cornelius,
a son
Caesar?
named Alexander. Not Alex, Alexander.
Alexander.
It's much more regal.
It is.
And it has such a nice ring to it.
Alexander, come to the loft. Breakfast is ready.
You could not say anything and berate your child in a normal way. Alexander, stop listening to that country music. You know?
Alexander, shame on you. 100 years torture in the dungeon.
When you say these things, do you know that they're ridiculous? Do you just get lost mid-sentence and then you just kind of find your way home and then it turns out to not be your home?
I'm just like Michael Scott. Sometimes I get lost in the middle of a sentence and I don't know where it's going to go. I just let it take me. I call it free speak. You know, you just kind of talk wherever the mouth takes you.
Wherever your mouth takes you.
Yes.
My mouth is firmly planted in the here and now, but your mouth goes from house to house selling barbecue grills, trying to make a living.
I have like a sleazy salesman mouth.
No, barbecue grills are the respectable door-to-door salesman people.
I don't know. If someone came to my door and sold me a barbecue grill, I'd be like, get off of my door area.
Leave the grill. All right. We got way off topic. But the point is, going back to Caesar, we did, in fact, watch, and we are now going to be reviewing, you scared the dog.
Sorry,
reviewing War of the Planet of the Friggin' Apes.
Freaking amazing epic movie.
Gary.
Yes.
I told you.
Yes.
I told my girlfriend. I told anybody who would listen. How great was this movie?
It was arguably the best movie.
It was greater than that. It was fantastic.
It was amazing. It was epic. And I was going to say, arguably the best movie that's come out this year so far.
Okay, so let's have this discussion now before we even review it. When, if not now, if not this movie, will there ever be a blockbuster film billed to be as such, not become one like Titanic or Good Will Hunting or whatever that becomes a blockbuster? Which movie billed as a blockbuster? When, if not this movie, will a Academy Award winner be?
I don't think I've ever seen a blockbuster that has the emotional heights of like an intimate melodrama with just amazing action and these amazingly deep, well-written characters. If it doesn't get like a Best Picture nod, I'm going to be royally pissed. I will tell you that right now, because it is very deserving.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes.
Not since, from my recollection at least, has there been a film that has been billed as a blockbuster since Godfather 2.
Yeah.
And that's been a while. That was the first and only film franchise that has been nominated as well as won back-to-back
Best Pictures?
Academy Award winner. Yeah, Best Pictures.
Yeah, usually, blockbusters, especially nowadays, they take home, like, the standard visual effects, maybe score, maybe a nomination for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, but, hardly ever Best Picture. I feel like maybe, I'd have to check myself, maybe Inception might have been nominated for Best Picture in 2010, but it's still, like, it obviously didn't win, it's still a long shot. Usually it's the dramas that are grabbing Best Picture now. So I don't think War's going to win, but it's as good as any movie that's going to come out this year in terms of payoff and characters and visuals and everything across the board is excellent.
Yeah, and for the record, Inception was nominated. It was
nominated for Best Picture, yeah.
But it's very few and far between that we come upon movies that have just a great mix of so many elements. There's a lot of elements to this film that we can touch upon.
Oh my God, it goes to crazy places.
And we're about to delve into that. But just, again, before we go there, I want to touch specifically, because I want to make sure we give him his due, Andy Serkis.
Hats off to that man. Let's have a moment of something for Andy Serkis.
Okay, so you guys, both of you, saw both the prequels to this film.
Yep.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which they also mention in this third film. And actually, I think this is actually in chronological order the seventh film
in the whole franchise. Yeah,
but these films are still
it's its own thing.
They're supposed to be their own thing, their own standalone, and not specifically canon. Yeah, as the comic book people would say.
Yes, it's not canon, bro.
No, however. For just the entire series, and we've seen a technological growth from film to film to film, and it just gets better and better. But the one thing that remains a constant is the captivating draw that is Andy Serkis. Yeah. Andy Serkis as Caesar, as a CGI monkey. Yeah. Ape. There's a difference. There it is. I guess there is a difference. But as a CGI animated ape. Yep. It just absolutely kills it.
I went back and I watched the first two right before I saw this one, and so funny. The first one is a little cartoonish and juvenile at times, and the human characters are pretty one-dimensional. But then, the best part is Caesar, and then the second one, same thing, better human characters, but still all about Caesar. And the third one is the ultimate Caesar fest. It's all about it's such a beautiful three-pronged arc, each film building up Caesar's rise and fall and development. It's like a beautiful thing to watch. It really is.
And we've really the one thing that I felt that this film really knew about itself and was self-reflective on was that it was primarily and it secluded to Caesar's point of view of things.
Yeah, this whole film,
very rarely strayed away from Caesar or how he saw things.
Film 1 was pretty much all the human's perspective, mostly James Franco's story. Yes. Film 2, back and forth between the surviving humans and Caesar, and then this one was all about the apes.
All about his awesome journey, his adventure as the film.
He's a more compelling protagonist than 95% of blockbuster protagonists out there.
Okay, so he's an ape. Yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so one of the elements that I found just incredibly genuine about this entire film was the emotion that was drawn. Yeah. For not only CGI characters, it's one thing to do this with a mix, right, of Beauty and the Beast that they just did a remodel of having a real life person there communicating with others. We saw it with the Jungle Book. Yeah. We see this where it's everybody centered around a real person. When it's only animated characters,
like just apes interacting through sign
in a real life setting. Yeah, it's not Finding Dory where you're taking for granted that this is an animated world. Yeah, this is set in real time,
motion capture characters in real life. Yeah,
and we have it. We just are able and stuck to this story. It's a real hit or miss prospect, and what they do in this film is that they garner so much emotional interest and giving to all of these wide characters that are, again, all animated. And I just found that as a fascinating topic.
What's so funny is it takes a really special and strong suspension of disbelief to see an orangutan and a chimpanzee riding horses through the mountains with shotguns and take it totally oh yeah, this is, and not giggle or be this is weird. And the film is so serious. This is the darkest and most serious one, and it has the most ape action, and it's so believable because they do it so well. I mean, it could turn out so campy, kind of like the first one was a little bit campy. This one just, no question, you can take it point blank as these are compelling three-dimensional characters.
And the fact that they're able to not only create a compelling argument for the apes as a whole, as far as what their side of this argument is, and we kind of see that Civil War aspect to where it's a line in the sand. You pick which side you're on, but beyond that, they make you almost side entirely with the apes, who would have a negative stigma already. But the fact that it's in an entire film based on survival of a species, you almost are drawn to the apes side of things.
Yeah.
Just on
you want the humans to die and leave the apes alone, even though we are human watching this.
And that's an incredible feat, by the way. I mean, that's incredibly fascinating that you're able to overcome what somebody is and what, as an audience member, a belief in who you are as a person, and able to suspend their disbelief to a moment where they're able to see the logical side of something and side with not just a history and identity of who you are, but go forward with, hey, these apes are just incredibly endearing. That's almost humanistic. Yeah. And just trying to survive as much as the next person.
I mean, that's what, like, one of the biggest themes of the films is, like, what does it mean to be human, and is it inherently good to be human? And it makes
there are a lot of emotional themes.
Yeah.
I mean, you essentially paid $8 to $12 for an introduction to theology,
to like classic literature.
And it's fantastic.
To good and evil and moral ambiguity and all this stuff. Like, holy crap, dude! They filled in a lot. They went a lot of places in that 2.5 hour running time that most movies can't do.
And I found the most compelling argument, more than human versus ape and where, what makes a human. I thought the most compelling idea that they went through and fully delved into was the Colonel's journey.
The Colonel was a great subplot. He was
fantastic choice. Not necessarily somebody I would think of as a as a standard villain. Perhaps.
Yeah, and not a guy who can really anchor a dramatic role better than anyone. But he was perfect.
Absolutely,
he nailed every moment as the Colonel.
And really,
not going to give any spoilers.
No.
But
I know it's hard. There's a lot of tripwires in here that we can trip over. But as perfect as somebody can nail a role, he truly did. Yeah. And when we discuss villains, every time it has to come up because it's such a crucial element to creating a realistic villain.
A good blockbuster movie, the best ones have the best villains.
And what makes a villain is the fact that you can identify
empathetic villain.
You
best
can
villains.
See their side of things and what drives them. And this story,
you in this movie, you absolutely hate the Colonel. You want him just to get slaughtered, but then it's like, he has this monologue, and you're like, oh my god.
There's a gut punch reaction.
Yeah, I totally know where you're coming from, dude. It makes total sense why you're doing what you're doing. I hate you, but oh my god, things just got so juicy. And I love it.
And another element that we find very intriguingly in the beginning, they're just, again, there's so many, I'm stumbling over the amount of goodness in this movie.
We're not going to get through every theme, every allusion in this movie. There's a lot.
One of the great things that they introduce, and again, from beginning to end, any and all questions you have starting in the beginning get answered by the end.
Yeah.
Every single one. They answer and deliver upon every ending you would want, every situation you find ourselves in. Just everything gets answered and it's in a beautiful way. But the one that they explore, which I find to be just absolutely enthralling, was the coalition of apes and men, and how they called them donkeys. Because again, that's in the poster, so I'm not giving too much away here.
Yeah.
But there were some that turncoated and sided with the humans.
A lot of the apes defected to save their own lives, so they went with the human army. And there's a lot, you kind of mentioned like a civil war. I think that there was a lot of references to, like you said, the Bible, and then to like American slavery and the Civil War. I don't think that was accidental. I think that was really, really purposeful.
Everything was purposeful.
And that whole donkey thing was a part of that. And that was so deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's really the defining line for that particular storyline is the ideology of one of the turned apes saying to Caesar, I look out and I can save myself.
Yeah.
And then Caesar turns back to him and identifies with him as a together ape, and the idea of ape strong together.
Yeah.
Turns to him and says, "Is there anything left of you to save?" And it's just really it's so profoundly deep. That it gives you chills.
And Caesar goes through that whole thing in this movie too. He's always been the ape who doesn't kill only when he has to. He's almost like Batman. It's like his rule. And in this movie, he's got to deal with his own morality and his own journey, and he has to ask himself those questions like, who am I, what do I have left, what am I going to do, what does that make me? And oh my god, it's such a journey.
And another beautiful thing is that this film that has so many outside the lines greatness to it.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to point out was the camera angles. The camera angles in the filming of this film.
The extreme close-ups, all the cinematography was beautiful. It was desolate. It was intimate.
I'll just deliver in the first scene. They deliver this man versus ape. What you came for? It was a war scene.
Yeah.
You're having this tense anticipatory moment of okay, what's going to happen? They're sneaking up on the ape camp and what have you. And then what they have is this overhead panning of the camera from the charge of man to the ape's front. And it's just the way it's filmed, and you're able to capture that lush vegetation below.
Yeah, and all the humans are, and there's bullets flying back and forth. Green. Oh man, that was an amazing opening shot.
And then later on in the film, they're having, again, CGI to CGI characters talk to each other.
Yeah.
And the way that they're able to film it to where the camera angles, there's a red hueish light on one of the characters, and it comes back to Caesar, and he's somewhat half and half. Just the visual cues of that, and showing how he's somewhat turning to the dark side of his demons, of his inner demons. The way that you're able to create in a realistic sense of what we've taken so long in cinematography to master, of those person-to-person shots over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And just beautiful.
There's no doubt in my mind that a lot of those kind of almost overused extreme close-ups of the apes' faces were there not only for emotional resonance, but they were also there to be like, look what our frickin' technology can do. Look at the amount of detail that is put into each and every ape's face, because most of the time when the apes are talking, it just blows up into like an absurdly extreme close-up, maybe even just like 3/4 of their face. And I was just sitting there watching this on like 100-foot wide screen, just totally enthralled and wondered, being like, you guys went from Andy Serkis with dots on his face to like this fully realized character. This is incredible. Yes, and another outside the lines shout out definitely goes to Michael. I'm gonna butcher this last name, Giacchino, who composed the music for the film. Great score, yeah. Fantastic score, which punctuates every emotion with this pin needle thing of just the dots of building up anticipation to the serene scenes where there's a mellowed calm over the film, and then the realization scores. I mean, and even to the just regular when the first time we meet the Colonel, there's some I believe some oldie rock and roll sound coming through the entire speaker. Just the music selection within this entire film is fantastic. And I would also it's definitely like moment driven, character driven. It's not over the top, kind of like how Baby Driver or Guardians is intentionally over the top. It's subtle, and the score serves to pull you in and add to the scene even more. It's not just there for background noise. It's very immersive. It goes shot for shot, exactly moment for moment. You know what is that it delivers this intense moment where in the middle of the film the two enemies meet. Yeah. And they met pretty early on, too. I mean, I'm not going to give away what happens, but it adds to the story when your protagonist and antagonist are within 10 feet of each other for like the whole movie. It's great. It's great on how there's this entire film of cat and mouse, and you see, and it's really trying to determine who's got the upper hand at any given point, because they're both learning things about each other as this film goes on, and really gaining a respect for one another, and learning that each character has their strengths and has their weaknesses, something that they're blinded by, as well as things that make them the unquestioned leader within their respective cults and sects. And it's just absolutely phenomenal character development and character psychology, really, because
I would hope I would hope that we have come this far in 2017 to the 2018 season that Andy Serkis can finally be nominated for an Oscar for best actor.
Yeah, it's funny if you go back and read articles from like 2003. There was a lot of outrage when he wasn't nominated for Smeagol for Gollum in The Lord of the Rings, and 14 years later, look how far motion capture has come. Back then, it was considered, like kind of like Jar Jar Binks, like, oh my God, you're just doing movements, like you're not actually acting, you're playing a character. Now it's like, this is Andy Serkis acting, and the technology just helps. But this is him. This is his performance. It's not a technology-created performance. It's him. So, and I mean, the fact that we could be with this character, see that incredible development, like as an actor, to take a character over the course of 7-8 years, go through their whole entire life, play every single moment perfectly, do most of it non-verbally. I mean, that's really impressive, and that to me deserves a nomination. I don't think he'll get it because I think that a lot of it is either political or it doesn't recognize what needs to be recognized.
I think there's a stigma within the Academy for blockbusters.
Most of the time, summer movies don't get, besides visual effects and score, they don't get much.
The only one that I think might emerge from this summer's slate, would be Baby Driver.
You think so?
I don't think anything outside of that is going to get...
War, I mean, I think it'll... I mean, it depends how many Best Picture nominees they have. They have anywhere from 5 to 10 every year. If they do like a bigger pool of 10 nominees, it could sneak in there really easily. Same thing with Best Actor. I know Best Actor, they always have 5, I believe, and it's going to be tightly contested. But I mean, that would be a big step in the recognition of the legitimacy of motion capture. If he were to be nominated, I think it would open a lot of eyes and turn a lot of heads.
And think about how far we've come as well. Just as
if I went watched all 3 films just from film to film,
there's
6 years. It's so much better than the first one.
It looks cartoonish.
Yeah, it looks.
To
it's
this
pretty
point
cheesy,
now, to where you believe you're watching a darn monkey. I forget which one it is, and it's hard because you can just kind of tell by that's that monkey, and I don't really know his name, but. I want to say it wasn't Rocket, it wasn't Nova. I think it was Luca. Was the big orange ape?
No, that's Maurice. Maurice was the big orangutan.
Oh, okay.
Maurice. Yes. Oh God, what a great character! Who talks once in the whole series, and you automatically know.
Played by Karen Knoble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just absolutely fantastic. And looks fantastic. That particular
was the one that I was most impressed with.
Looks the most like a monkey or an ape. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Primate,
alligator, crocodile, whatever.
Primate.
Yeah, when they had
llama deer.
That scene in the sewer. That was Maurice talking to the
Bat ape.
Little girl. Yeah.
Oh, no, yes.
And the Bat ape, but they had all those extreme close-ups of, and Maurice tilted his head down, and you could see all the hairs, like the millions of hairs.
You can just tell within those shots, those particular shots where you see unnecessary, well, I guess it's things that you can get away with, right, that people wouldn't necessarily notice unless they're really, really looking, such as breath if it's cold, or hair bristling or snow catching on hair, whatever it is, and it's all caught on here. You can just tell that somebody loves their job.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful to watch.
It's the company that did the visual effects was Weta Digital in New Zealand, the one that's done all the Lord of the Rings films and stuff, and they're like the leading people for motion capture. And I hope that they get recognized. I mean, in the industry, they're really recognized as the company to go to if you need the best motion capture, but a lot of people don't know where this comes from. I hope that this will put them more in pop culture. It's like, whoa, Weta Digital did that,
Finally, I just want to address another dart on the dartboard of themes talked about and brandied about throughout the entire film. It explores just about every aspect of the word war in this film. The war between species, the war within yourself, the war amongst your fellow man, the war against your past. I mean, just every element. And I loved how within the first minutes of the film, they bring in this, the sounds of the jungle, right? And you're reading the prologue, and it symbolizes out the words, and it symbolizes out
dawn, rise,
and
war.
rise. but now then it was just war, and it's really set you up for not just what you're this isn't Transformers, right? You're gonna get some explosions, but it's not gonna be, the whole world will die if we don't know. You're gonna get a realistic how war affects you, affects other people, affects the decisions you make going forward, and what motivates you. And it was just, this entire film was just beautiful to watch, and I don't know that it appeals to everybody. It probably won't. I think if you are interested to go see it, then you should. Yeah. But I mean, this isn't one of those films like Up, right, where it's nominated for Best Picture, and it's a great film for its genre and appeals to everybody. This film specifically,
you gotta have a strong suspension of disbelief and not laugh when you see an orangutan shooting dudes with a shotgun. But
they do a great job of just dissuading you from laughing. I mean, we've seen other films where it's just the suspension of disbelief has not been fully hit, and you just don't take I'm not there. Yeah. And I also think the fact that they have so many, or at least the two primary ways to communicate, and the fact that the other apes have evolutionized at a slower pace than Caesar helps, because then you have that entire sign language barrier that Caesar can see through, and so there's just one special ape that you really get, and then the rest have that ability to talk, and then you can kind of it creates a believability factor.
You know what? I'm gonna throw in a little add-in. For like the past 3 years, I've been living by the mantra and the mindset of like, don't get excited for new DC films because they're going to be terrible. And if they turn out to be terrible, then I won't be surprised. And if they're good, I'll be even that more surprised. That happened to me with Wonder Woman, which I thought was good but not like the best film. And so I really liked it because I thought it was going to be terrible. The guy who directed these last two Apes movies, Matt Reeves, he took over the new Batman movie for Ben Affleck. He's writing and directing the new, and so I was really impressed. His handle, like you talked about, war of themes. Batman is all about themes. Batman is all about inner battles. I'm like, you know what? I'm excited for the new Batman film that Matt Reeves is directing. So I will give it to DC. You picked a good director.
Yeah. He also helped in the screenplay. I don't know, in screenwriting. I don't know to what degree it's. Sometimes they just slap their name on there.
He co-wrote. With Mark Bomback, I think his name is.
For War. And but much like that, I think a lot of people were excited about the Twinkie returning, and then it kind of bombed again. So
the Twinkie,
and the McGriddles. I'm just saying that these are great things.
Hey, the McGriddle is my favorite McDonald's food. Yeah. Maddie can attest to that. I love the McGriddle.
It all makes sense now. You would be looking forward to the new Batman movie just based on one decision. One director does not a great film make.
Imagine if this movie was
said great.
I mean, imagine if someone like Zack Snyder or someone, I don't know, someone who wasn't as good got these movies. They would be campy movies. The director who did the first movie, imagine if he had to direct this script. It would not be as good as when Matt Reeves did it. So I'm excited.
I will tell you this.
I am justifiably excited.
Nothing. The only thing that can save DC is Christopher Nolan. He is anti-DC proof.
He's not going to ever come back.
No, I know.
And they don't want him. He's not part of their culture. Yeah,
they're done. So I don't know how we got into that muckety-muck of that spewing sewage that is DC.
There's a glimmer of hope after Wonder Woman.
No,
there is a glimmer.
It was a glimmer, and then it went back to being flatline dead.
Dude, their latest release is the biggest box office hit of the whole year, and it's like the most critically acclaimed film with this movie that we just saw. Yeah. There is hope. I will argue this till I die, until the new Batman movies comes out.
What is it? Summer. He hates DC. So
I hate all those movies.
I know, you turned away from the light side. You are now
joy for DC.
I'm sorry.
You're now becoming Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. Not even on the dark side. You're just kind of murky in between.
If you can take Talking Apes and make a great movie out of it, you can take a fallen studio and make a good movie out of that studio.
That's what I also loved about this film, getting back on the real track.
Yes,
is that they were able to create I have such an appreciation for directors and people who are the driving force behind movies that can make something that is a weakness, such as a strength. Yes,
the fact that your characters aren't human. Who cares? We'll make them better. They will be the best characters around. You know,
just much like in your example, the lasso of truth. was fantastic in Wonder Woman. You say either of those things aloud, we're gonna make a movie about talking apes, or we're gonna do a superhero film about this woman who has an invisible car and a truth lasso.
Yeah.
They just sound stupid. Like there's no getting around the fact that both of them sound corny, hokey ideas that came from the 60s and 70s.
But it works. You get it if you hit it just right. There's a thin line, and you're like, oh my god, that was a really cool scene.
Reinvented,
with the lasso of truth,
reimagined, restocked, reinvented, reappearing in new forms. I don't even know.
Matt Reeves is now the Steve Jobs.
Matt Reeves
of movies.
That's my other Reeves.
Reeves Jobs.
All right, so we've come to the part of the show. How many Boucher bars do you give
out of 100?
Out of 100.
My Boucher bars are almost full on this one, man. I'm giving it 96.
Oh! Yeah, I mean, you knew I was already there, so I'm...
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 99.
99.
We were right there. Far just... The 1% I'm taking off is not even its fault. It's the fact that I don't think this appeals to everybody, that it has to, by default, be taken down. If somehow they could incorporate, Beauty and the Beast with this film, it would be the most epic film.
Yeah.
Boo, I say.
Boom, boo.
This one actually has beat Logan for my highest rated of this year. Yeah. Logan was a 93, I think, for me, or 91. 96, man. It's close to a perfect, blockbuster 3-act emotional movie. I don't think it could be much better than it is.
Barely etching out The Big Sick for me, which I want to see... Again.
Obviously two completely different movies.
Different ends of the spectrum. Great acting in both.
Yes.
Great acting in both, and both excelling in character development as well as stories, but just very different stories to be told.
But I would say as far as satisfaction goes, I was the most satisfied I've been walking out of a movie this year was probably Planet of the Apes.
And you were a little hesitant, don't lie.
I was like,
this film. You're like, Philip's out of it.
What's all this hype about? All right, whatever. And then I watched the first two, and I was like, okay. And then I saw this one, I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yes, very much reminds me of the Dark Knight trilogy, which I'm giving you a little tidbit, a little teaser for the folks at home, to have reason to listen after the commercial, will be in Give Me 5.
Oh.
Right after this. Red Ribbon Realty Group at HomeSmart is a full-service real estate team of Phoenix natives with over 15 years of experience in the industry. When you work with them, you have 2 full-time realtors representing your best interests throughout your entire transaction, whether you are selling, buying, or renting. They also believe in supporting their community. Use code word chopped greens, and Red Ribbon Realty Group will donate 15% of their net commission from your transaction to the nonprofit charity of your choice. Visit their website at www.redribbongroup.com and find them on Facebook. You can also email them at info@redribbongroup.com or call them at 602-888-6638. Red Ribbon Realty Group. Trust. Commitment. Home. 12 years of Maddie. I broke you. Anyways, that's that 12 Years a Slave. Maddie, we just found out during the break you have never seen.
Maddie hasn't seen 12 Years a Slave.
I've been trying to get Ruby to see it too. It's just one of those, I will never, not that I ever did, but I will never say the N-word after seeing that film. It hit me so hard emotionally.
That it just completely...
It gives a lot of perspective.
It broke me down like a Lego set and rearranged me into the Death Star. I
don't believe it's not a bad
Probably,
film. It's just one of those films that I missed. And then now that I feel like it's almost too late to watch. I've already missed out.
You watch movies like Saw, and those are hard to watch because they're so gory. But 12 Years a Slave is realistic. I find Saw hard to watch.
They're coming out with a new one. A new one coming out this October.
I don't know how I feel.
The point is 12 Years a Slave.
Saw.
So do I, but
it got really bad at the end there. But
8, they need to stop.
12 Years a Slave.
Now I think they're reimagining it with I think it's going to be how Jigsaw became Jigsaw more so than what they've explored in the original series. We'll talk about this after the podcast. Yeah. It's fantastic.
If any genre can do it, horror can do it, honestly. Those big series.
Saw number 6 was about when I was physically done. Oof. Yeah, that was the last one where even a little bit of goodness, I was like, oh, that's a good twist.
3D one, and then I was like, yeah,
that was bad. That was pretty bad. And I did not see that in 3D. All right, here we go. Gary and Maddie, we are now at the part of the show, Give Me 5, or I've got 5 questions for you, you've got 5 questions for me. We don't know what they are, but we will answer them honestly. Gary, since you're with a woman,
my lady love,
go first. Yes.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a game that I like to call chimp quiz.
Oh,
I didn't come up with a clever pun.
Are you alert with this? Or?
I don't
Okay,
know
so then me and Maddie will play.
Here's another questions. I have 3 sets of 3 facts. 2 of them are false. 1 of them is true. I'm going the Phil way with this one. I usually do 2 true, 1 false. But this time you gotta sniff out the true one.
Okay.
Fun facts about chimps, because we saw Planet of the Apes and I was feeling chimp-tastic here.
Alright.
So number 1, chimpanzees aren't actually bipedal. They require all of their limbs to walk. They can't walk on 2 legs, even though in the movie they did.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, that's fact number 1. Fact number 2, chimps are immune to diseases that affect humans like measles, hepatitis, and influenza.
Okay.
And number 3, in the wild, chimps live to be 40 to 50 years old.
Oh boy, which one is true?
Which one of those is true?
I will step out on the ledge first here, Maddie. I'll say that no, they can stand. Okay, I'm gonna go with the third fact.
That one
Third
is
fact. I had to work it out there.
That one's true, you think?
That's the true one.
Wait, can you say that first one more time?
Chimps aren't bipedal. They can't walk on 2 legs. They actually need to use all 4 limbs to move. You know how in the movie Caesar was walking?
I know what you're talking about.
It was probably
thinking.
around the scene where he got on the horse.
Yeah. Chimps can't ride horses. Number 2, chimps are immune to the flu. Number 3, they live to be 40 to 50 years old in the wild.
She is really thinking.
I'm gonna also say the third one. I think.
Dang, you gotta sniff me out. That one's the true one.
I'm like
That one smelled a little.
They're not bipedal.
The other 2 are actually the opposite. Chimps can fully walk on 2 legs, and they are not immune to the flu and measles and hepatitis.
I know chimps can have hepatitis. That's why I knew that one was true.
Oh, well, that's great. All right.
I just thought that they could.
Documentary.
Number 2, chimps are 7 times stronger than humans. Chimps are herbivores with the exception of eating bugs. Otherwise, they completely eat plants. Number 3.
The dramatic effect pause. Continue.
Number 3, although they are intelligent, no chimp in captivity has ever been able to learn American Sign Language.
Maddie, you go first. I actually think I know this one.
I'm gonna go with they are herbivores.
You think that one is the true one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that one as well. I know freaking Nancy the orangutan does sign language or something.
I'm talking about chimps here, not orangutans.
Oh, whatever. Chimp.
Different species.
Different.
Chimp you.
You have great apes, which are gorillas, orangutans, chimps, and bonobos.
Yes.
Oh, bonobo this. Go.
The one that is true is that chimps are 7 times stronger than humans. Chimps are omnivores. They eat small animals and birds. And chimps can learn sign language in captivity.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Number 3. This will put you over under 500.
All right.
Despite popular belief, chimps have small white tails. Popular belief being that they have no tails. Chimps have small white tails. Number 2, when they are ill, chimps will start small fires to burn herbs and plants for medicine. Number 3, every night, chimps change the location of their nests in the trees. They sleep in trees, and every night they change the location of where they sleep.
So which one is the true fact?
Which one is the true fact?
Okay, I'm gonna go. Ooh. One more time, just one more time on this.
Number 1, chimps have small white tails. Number 2, they start fires and burn herbs for medicine. Number 3, chimps change the location of their nests every night.
Oh, you did me dirty on this one, Gary, because I don't know if you know this, but I love Tarzan. And those apes moved around nests all the friggin' time. But you are over here making the delineation between apes and chimps. So I'm gonna go with... Oh, let's friggin' go with whitetail.
White tails?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with the burning.
With the burning?
Yeah.
You got both wrong. It was the location of the nest. You should have trusted your instincts.
Yeah.
Chimps have white tails that fall off immediately after birth, but they do not stay with them.
I think I read that somewhere. Never.
Yeah. And chimps have no knowledge of how to start a fire, so.
I don't know. They're intelligent.
All right.
I can see
right.
teaser.
They weren't chimps. They were gorillas in Tarzan.
I know. That's why I didn't go with
you
it.
were partly right with what you were saying.
There were silverback gorillas there. All right. Gary and Maddie, 9 years ago yesterday, which was June 18th, it was a very dark day in cinematic history. The Dark Knight opened in theaters 9 years ago. And the comic book world and comic book movies have never been the same since. I have a game for both of you. I'm going to give you some trivia, and you let me know simply true or false. You guys ready for this?
About the Dark Knight?
It's about strictly the Dark Knight.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Maddie and Gary.
And
Gary. I was thinking about his knees, and that's why.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Fact number 1, Gary Oldman returned as Detective Gordon, but was given the option to be paid $75,000 or take a small 1.5 percentage of the total profit of the film. Oldman elected for the percentage of profit and has made over $53 million because of it thus far. True or false? Who wants to go first?
False.
True.
Ooh, on both sides of it. We got false for Gary. That's 1. Completely made it up.
That's like what happened with Mark Hamill with Luke, but I was like, has that happened since that? No. Gary Oldman got like $53 million off that movie. That's crazy.
I just guess. I don't know.
I love Gary Oldman. Well, if you think about the profit, that
Gary
includes
Oldman.
DVD, that includes Thus to Date profit. So anyways, second one, Heath Ledger directed both homemade videos that the Joker sends to GCN himself. The first video involving the fake Batman was done under Christopher Nolan's supervision. Nolan thought Ledger had done so well with that sequence, he felt there was no need for him to be there when it came time to film the scene where reporter Mike Engel reads the Joker's statement. He put his trust in Ledger and let him do whatever he wanted, ultimately pleased with the result after he'd seen the outcome. True or false, Gary?
True.
Maddie?
False.
Maddie, you're dying over here to Gary. Gary's got 2 right.
I definitely read that like on the wiki page that Heath Ledger just did that himself. I read that in like 8th grade.
Gary freaking loves
and I'm
Batman movies.
expecting.
Christopher Nolan's Batman movies are Gary's thing, so I
love those.
I'm expecting the most out of you, Gary.
Yeah.
You stumble at all here, and we're done.
Okay,
all right.
You're gonna build me up too much here, babe.
All right, Christian Bale was notorious for being particular on set, so much so that Bale had at one point asked to film all the Batman scenes first, then the Bruce Wayne shots after. Cast members noted that Bale's unpleasant attitude on set caused major distractions, leading to a near 6-month delay in the filming schedule. True or false, Gary?
You know what? That's totally believable. I haven't heard that one, but I'm going to say it's true.
I'm also going to say it's true.
You are both wrong!
Really?
I completely made that up.
I know that he's a total D-bag on set.
He is.
Yes,
I figured.
He's really particular.
Very, very particular. All right, next one.
Nice.
While filming the chase scene with the Joker in the SWAT vans, only one of only 4 IMAX cameras in the world at that time was destroyed. True or false?
True.
True.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And amazing at all at the same time.
And awful and sad.
Yeah, well, at the time, they've made more now, I'm sure. All right, trouble arose during a PR campaign before the movie's release date when a website related to the film sent out several cakes purportedly from the Joker, containing a cell phone inside which made the cake vibrate and had wires sticking out, making the cake look like a bomb. One such news station, which received one of the cakes, believed it to be an actual terrorist act and the entire building had to be evacuated. True or false, Gary?
False.
Maddie?
True.
Would either one of you like to switch your answers?
I'm locking it in.
Locking it in?
Yeah.
All right. Maddie's got 2 to Gary's final 3. He missed the last one.
Ooh.
Oh, that was actually true and incredibly believable. All right, your turn, Gary.
So, funny, not funny, but ironic news this week. A family was kicked off a JetBlue flight that was going out of New York City last weekend.
Was it in air?
It was on the ground because they would be dead.
Because I was going to say, that would not be funny.
Extremely resourceful if they were alive.
Create a circle. Family circle of friends. We'll navigate.
We got this, kids. Anyways, this family was kicked off because they were sitting with their 3-year-old girl, and she started kicking the seat in front of her. Oh. And the guy got up and started swearing at the family. They got into an argument, and then they were kicked off the plane. I have 2 little sisters who are 8 and 10. I know that you have a younger sister who's close to the same age. They've done a lot of things that are regrettable and angering in public, and I want to know, what's the most embarrassing or enraging thing that your younger sister has done in public with you and your family?
In public's hard because she's a very quiet person.
Okay.
She's a very quiet person, but I remember when she was much younger, much younger. She was, I don't even remember. Let's say 3.
Yeah.
Somewhere around. No. She was probably like 5 to 4, somewhere around there. Let's go there. And I know. No, she was like 6. No, seriously, no, she was 5 to 4. And she had this garage sale in her room. And, quote unquote. And so she was playing make believe, and so she said, "Phil, come in here. Everything's $1. So I'm over here. Okay. So I brought $1. I brought like $2, and I bought her like radio station, her like little boom box.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a little dice or something. And I went back to my room, and then she brought in my mom and my grandma and everybody. And I'm over there now listening to my new radio station, because they had one. And then so she's like, "All right. We're done. So give me back my radio station." I said, "Okay." And here's the dice. And I said, "Okay, so where's my $2? And she said, "Garage sale's over." Shuts the door. So that's probably about. And I could not believe it. And so that's probably the most frustrating thing. Trying to find where my darn. Because at the time I had to be 14.
14? You're like, "Where's my $1?
So where's my $1? That's lunch money.
Where's my $1? Come on, I need my chips.
That's a sticky bun right there. All right.
Oh boy.
All right. After 10 days, the 2017 World Series of Poker main event table is finally set, and it's one for the history books. For the first time, poker's modern era, 2 players are making a repeat appearance at the final table. Antoine Sel's first appearance was in 2009, the first time a French player made the November 9, and Ben Lamb was a November 9er in 2011. They both ended up finishing 3rd in their respective years. The 2017 main event started with 7,221 players on July 8th, and now only 9 remain. The main prize is over $8 million, Gary.
Woo!
And Gary, if I had to force you to pay $10,000, which is the entry fee to this event, with the chance to win $8 million, which game would you most feel confident playing a tournament in?
This is gonna come crazy out of left field. Which game? I'm tempted to say basketball, but then I realize that I'm not actually good, considering that there's 350 NBA players, 10,000 college players who would smack me. So, the game is something that I was excellent at in elementary school. I was the king of the tournament. Every day we used to have these tournaments at Challenge Charter School. I don't know if you remember. Tetherball. I haven't played for 10 years, but I distinctly remember just having this like 6 month during recess love of tetherball. I played every day. We bought a pole and put it up with cement in my old house, and I would just tetherball with like my stepdad every day. So I would choose tetherball. It's a pretty simple game, and I feel like I'm long enough and I have the strength to be good at tetherball.
I was going to say, now to be fair, do you think back when you played, you just had an unfair advantage?
Over all the kids? Probably. But I still...
Everybody else is a solid,
statistically,
3 foot, and unless, you're 6'1"?
Yeah. Unless I was playing tetherball against like Yao Ming, I could probably win.
Okay. So outside of Yao Ming with horrible knees.
Yes. Yes. Right. He's got Luke knees.
Yeah, he's got Luke knees.
Luke knees? Is that like he's from a country? Oh yeah, he's Luke knees. He's from Lukanam.
Yeah. Everybody knows oh, doctor, what is it? You have Luke knees. No! All right, your turn, Gary.
All right. So the U.S. News and World Report, which is the king of ranking websites, has just released its ranking of the best countries to be an immigrant in.
Oh.
I'm going to give you 8 of these countries in random order, and I want you to pick the top 5. You don't have to order them, but pick the 5 countries that you think will make the top 5.
All right.
Best countries to be an immigrant.
Sounds good. Let's go.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sweden.
Okay.
Canada.
Okay.
Switzerland. Australia. I don't know why I did that.
That was a weird choice.
Germany. Norway. The U.S.
Well, U.S.
And the Netherlands.
Okay, so these are definitely in the top 8. It's just figuring out which one.
Yeah.
Okay. Top 5. I am gonna say U.S. is in there.
Okay. That is your first
Oh.
I'll give you 5 strikes, I guess.
5.
So, U.S. is number 8.
Oh wow. Okay. So then I'll go. Sweden's pretty lovely. They got some nice Alps.
Sweden is great.
Yes, Sweden.
Correct.
All right.
Number 2, Sweden.
Canada.
Correct. Number 1, Canada.
All right. So I got
like, which country?
Canada.
Canada. All right. So I've got 1 and 2.
Yep.
I know. All right. Next one. I'm gonna say the Netherlands. Oh.
Number 7.
Okay. So I see what you're doing here. All right. Australia is gonna be next.
Yes.
All right. Then I'll go with. So my choices are Norway, Switzerland, and Germany.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Germany. Who expects that one to be up there?
Correct. Germany is up there.
All right, 1 and 1.
Between Switzerland and Norway.
I would guess. Ooh, sweet. Switzerland has nice buns, so I'm gonna go Switzerland.
Correct.
Yeah.
Switzerland. It goes Canada, Sweden, Australia, Switzerland, Germany.
All right, go me. Go us and go America. All right.
Except that we're at 8.
Don't get bogged down in the
Hey,
facts.
which country do you think was last?
China?
Kenya.
Oh, yeah. I read a good story about a man there, but I decided not to use it. All right. Yes, that's for the outtakes on the podcast. All right. I want to shake things up today. Just kind of get out of the norm.
Shake things up how?
By doing just something, this random little game that I've got here.
Oh, no way. What's it called?
It's called Uber Facts.
No way! Who's ever heard of this game?
In case you don't know the fantastic Uber Facts game, I have 5 sets of facts. One of which is false, and 2 of them are true. I want you to sniff out and figure out which one is the false fact within each set of facts. Gary, Maddie, are you guys ready?
Oh God, yes. Now,
there we
see,
go.
this is nice. It's not me against myself. It's me against her.
Right.
Yeah.
If I win, we watch 12 Years a Slave.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, there we go.
All right.
Maddie, you should have bet something good.
And if I don't win, I can still argue with you about it and try to get you to watch it.
All right.
Yes. If I win and
you choose.
I lose,
This is unscripted, ladies.
we have to get burgers.
So if you win, we get burgers. Is what you're saying?
If I win, you lose.
Okay.
If I win,
If she
I
wins,
lose.
I'm buying her In-N-Out. Is what she's saying.
Oh, okay.
If I win, I get In-N-Out. If I lose,
if she
I
wins,
get
you're
In-N-Out.
buying us burgers. Fantastic.
Yes, and
All
Gandalf.
right.
Yes.
And me. All right, next. So here we go. Fact number 1. Due to China's harsh exporting taxes, one singular silkworm costs roughly $40,000 to buy and transport to America. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2. Ellen DeGeneres turned down the role of Phoebe in the TV show Friends. Fact number 3. None of the items on the McDonald's menu could be certified as vegetarian. Gary, you get to go first.
Number 3.
Number 3.
That one is the false. I'm sniffing out the false one.
Yes,
right?
the false one.
That one is false.
Okay, Matt. She's thinking.
She really wants that
She
burger.
really wants that burger. She smells the ground beef. Maybe from McDonald's.
Which one's false?
Which one is false? You need a rundown one more time?
No, I'll go number 3 as well.
Alright, so you both are going to stay lockstep and key
Yep.
in wronghood. You're both wrong. I made up the silkworm fact. Go me. Alright, next one.
Is this silkworm like a terrible thing? It's like that's like a parasite.
That's what they used to make silk,
Well, that's
right?
what they use to make silk. I mean,
Still
now they're...
recycled.
It's still horrible. I choose non-silk products when I shop at Kohl's. Alright, next one. During World War II, Nazi soldiers were fed massive quantities of methamphetamine for increased alertness and endurance. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2, the game checkers is logged as the official first board game in human history. And fact number 3, the woman credited with inventing the pot brownie is actually called Mary Jane. Gary.
Oh God! You got methamphetamine. You got the pot brownie. Number 3. What's the second one again?
The second one, the game checkers is logged as the official first board game in human history.
Number 2. I think chess. So I'm just gonna say number 2.
Fantastic.
I think chess came out before checkers.
Chess.
I think
I think chess.
Said no blonde ever. All right. I'm sorry to all our blonde listeners.
Go for it.
Maddie, for the burger.
Now I get way too pressured.
I know.
Don't feel pressured. It's okay.
There's too much on the line now.
There's a lot of 12 years of pressure on it.
I'm gonna go. What's the third one again?
Third one would be the woman credited with inventing the pop brownie is actually called Mary Jane. Gary.
I'm gonna say that one's false.
That one's false. Gary is on the board with checkers. Next one.
I was in the chess club.
A kitten is born every 3.7 seconds.
Oh.
Fact number 2. Pediophobia is the fear of dolls. Fact number 3. Russia has more nuclear weapons than any other country. Gary.
God, I know it's between Russia and us, but now I can't remember if we have a few hundred more or they have a few hundred more. I'm gonna say number 1 is false.
A kitten is born every 3.7 seconds. That's the false one?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, that's the false one.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
That's
Maddie.
Probably true, actually. Shoot.
What was the second word? Pediophobia? Is that
Pediophobia
is the fear of
dolls. As Gary over here is saying, I need to change.
I don't know. I'll choose that one.
Alright, did you want to change?
No, I'm just clocking it in.
Kittens.
Clocking it in.
Got it.
Gary's on the board again.
I'm actually really happy that's false.
Yes.
We don't need that many kittens.
Yeah,
in this
there's
world.
Maddie is like, Chris Pratt is like for me as kittens are to her. She's like,
fantastic.
she hates them. Anyways.
Alright.
I know.
Maddie, you now have a chance and the only chance to tie, but I guess whoever gets the later one to tie would win, theoretically, so you could still win. Let's go.
Okay.
Alright, next one. All the planets in our solar system could fit in the distance between the Earth and the Moon. Fact number 2, Julius Caesar only had 9 fingers, losing 1 finger to frostbite while fighting in the Mongolian campaign of 112 BC. Fact number 3, North Koreans who were not seen mourning over the death of Kim Jong II were sent to concentration camp for 6 months.
Number 1.
Number 1, Gary dies with.
What was the second one?
Second one, Julius Caesar only had 9 fingers, losing 1 finger to frostbite while fighting in the Mongolian campaign of 112 BC. How well do you know your history?
I'm gonna say the first one is true. I'm gonna say this. What's the third one?
Third one, North Koreans who were not seen mourning over the death of Kim Jong II were sent to concentration camps for 6 months.
I'm gonna say the second one's not true.
She's creeping up, Gary. She's on the board.
Yeah, I actually know that fact that all the planets can fit.
There we go.
The distance between that and the moon.
There we go. She had a smaller.
Well, it's great.
All right, no pressure, Gary.
Oh!
No pressure. All right, fact number 1.
I can put it in the bag right here.
Oh, yes, you could.
You could put that in that bag.
Speaking of bags, Shiloh Purina, the creator of Purina dog food, has sampled all 3 of the main flavors in his food line: filet mignon, steak, and lamb and beef. Fact number 2, some tarantulas are known for keeping small frogs as pets. And fact number 3, ketchup was originally made with mushrooms, not tomatoes. Gary, what you gonna do when the tarantulas come for you?
Well, you made up one of those ridiculous last 2 facts. Or, they're all ridiculous. Let's say number 2. I feel like the tarantula would kill the frog.
Okay.
The frog would eat the tarantula.
Now, I will give a little bit of strategy here. Maddie, you cannot win this unless you pick something other than Gary. So, either you will lose horribly, or you will tie him and win. But you cannot pick the same answer as him, otherwise you would automatically
lose. Yeah, because we'd both go up 1.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Your chances have increased.
Damn it. Okay. You picked, which one did you pick?
I picked the tarantula one.
Damn it.
And then you got Purina dog food, and what's the last one?
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Was originally made with mushrooms, not tomatoes. This is for all the burgers. It is double the pressure.
I can't decide when you do that.
When you do, how often do you do that? Just in the show?
Every day.
All right, I'll do the Purina dog food one.
All right. One of you won. And one of you is eating dog food. Maddie, you get to enjoy your delicious burger. Congratulations.
Yes! Wait, how did she get burgers? We tied. Tied.
But the last person to tie wins. It's like the record holder.
Huh? What? We both got 2 right. How was that real?
Well, I have another game. Maybe we can end the tie there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No.
because I got more than you in the Dark Knight one. So
I got more than you last week.
you weren't on last
time I was here.
Last
I won.
conversation. All right, now goes to you, Gary.
More sad news. A man was mobbed by a group of 10 people on a San Francisco bus last Monday night. He was on a bus and he got into an argument with a group of 10 teenagers who were being rowdy. So they started mouthing off to him. At the next bus stop, he got off and got onto another bus across the street, but they followed him and they surrounded him on the bus, beat him up, took his phone and his wallet, and ran away. And none of them have been arrested or identified, so they just got away with it. My super sad question for you is, what would you do in this situation, and do you think that you could fight off a mob of 10 snarky teenagers?
So I would peel away from my 9 brethren and say, this is not for me.
No,
you said I'm the person being beaten up.
If you're the person being beaten up, what would you do? Would you take it? Would you fight back? And do you think you could beat up these 10 kids?
It would depend on their size. I mean, if they're all Luke Wright, I just pop them in the knee. Why not by TKO? But seriously, I think everybody's initial, reaction would be to fight.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact of you getting beat up, stop it,
Stop.
But I would not beat anybody up. I mean, me and Luke Wright have discussed the prospect of us fighting, and I'm still a little scared. Wimpy knees and all for him. I still feel a little.
Luke knows how to box.
Yeah, so I'm a little hesitant because I've never gotten into a fight. He said he has gotten into a fight, and that veteran experience that he had holds.
Once you've lost your fight virginity, you don't get scared anymore.
Yeah, you have dumb bravery, right?
Yes.
I think they call that courage.
No, it's dumb bravery.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
Yeah, or alcohol, maybe tequila.
Yeah.
All right. Beyonce was bestowed a new wax figure, I'm sorry, not a fax figure. That's much more impressive, though. Wax figure at Madame Tussauds in New York. However, many people are having an uproarious reaction to the figure as it showcases the famed songstress several shades lighter than her actual complexion.
Oof.
Expectantly, as images of the figure began to circulate on social media, the Bayhive came out in full force, calling out the blatant whitewashing of their beloved queen. Some even likened the statue to that of Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears.
Wow.
This brings me to ask you, Gary, if you were to be honored by North Point, and they asked you which form of honor they could give you, would you want a banner, a wax figure, or my personal favorite, a statue, or other? Which would you want?
Oh my God.
How would you want to be remembered for the generations to come?
Jeez, I don't know if I want to be remembered at that awful high school, but if I had to
Accepting the
choose,
premise, yes.
if I had to choose, I would want. I would.
Not where you thought this was going at all, did you?
I would. No, it's not. I would have 2.
Oh, so I don't really want to be remembered there, but since we're talking about
I've got 2 conditions. You have to name the gym after me, the Gary Boucher Memorial Gym, and the school's mascot has to be me. Like literally, you have to dress up in a costume of me.
Oh, so you're like their version of Randy Johnson running around the bases at baseball games?
Yeah. And instead of the North Point Falcons,
You get a big fat head.
the North Point Garys, everybody would have me. Yeah, exactly. Because statues come down, banners can get replaced, covered up, collect dust. Name the gym after me. Make me your mascot.
So
There
you
you
get
go.
the real athletic kids. You'd be the monkey in the suit, of the
Yes.
Phoenix Mercury. You'd be the guy jumping.
Just imagine me
Okay.
dancing around in a larger stuffed version of me, and
Gosh, that's horrifying.
that's what I want.
That's horrifying. All right, your turn, Gary.
So, more very sad and hilarious news.
Oh my gosh.
China has banned Winnie the Pooh in their country
How dare they?
because
How rude.
how rude. I mean, what's that to half a lump of ridiculous? I don't know what Winnie the Pooh really says.
That's not what Winnie the Pooh sounds like at all.
It's okay. But
stay with Mr. Krabs. That's your best impression.
Yeah. China banned Winnie the Pooh because online bloggers have been making memes comparing China's president to Winnie the Pooh because he's kind of chubby. So Chinese bloggers have been doing like side-by-side photos of like him and Obama walking, but they replace like the Chinese president with Pooh. Okay. And so they've just been replacing it with Pooh in photos, and so the government got really mad and they banned all Pooh references in China. You can't show
Pooh for you.
Winnie the Pooh, nothing, no Heffalump, any of that. So my question to you is, if you were a world leader, what cartoon do you think people would make fun of you with, and why? What cartoon do you resemble?
Oh, so which one do I resemble?
Yeah, people were like, oh my god, Philip totally looks like this. So they made a meme out of you. Who would it be?
I probably...
Just to give our overseas viewers more of a concrete picture of who you are.
I'm probably... What's that? I think it's... I'm forgetting his name. Oh, Paddington.
Paddington the bear?
Yeah, that's probably who I go with. I'm pretty dorky. And I'm brown, so I have a limited field of brown, dorky characters. And Paddington's probably my naive, close to a dog. So that's about it. That's Paddington, yeah. All right, I've got a game, and I want you to both play. I asked Maddie beforehand to give me a movie genre. She selected horror. So
this is unfair. That's her genre right there.
Actually, this involves both of you. So I have in front of me a ranker list of the best horror films of all time, selected by the mass amounts of people on ranker.com. So I have the top 10 list. You guys can help each other out. 3 strikes and you're out. Are you ready to play? I just need the top 10 list of all time.
So we just have to just throw them out and just guess.
Just throw them out. I'll give you 3 strikes.
3 strikes. All right.
You guys got to come together with this selection.
How about Halloween?
I would say Halloween's going to be...
You guys sticking with it?
Yeah, Halloween.
Number 2. Number 2.
Okay.
Excellent job.
Friday the 13th, yeah. It's got to be up there. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
And that is your first miss.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you go.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Absolutely. Number 6.
Exorcist.
Number 3. Excellent.
You think? They're all gonna laugh at you.
Kurt?
What about
do you think it's Kurt? So you guys are missing 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We can go for Carrie. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Carrie up there.
Oh, Gary, you're awful at this game. 2 strikes. All right, here.
About Rosemary's Baby.
No. Don't try that one. I'll give you one more.
Are we at 2 already?
You guys are at 2 already. How about
we want to do the I wouldn't have even thought of that as horror, but okay, Jaws.
I don't either.
Jaws, there you go. Number 10. Barely coming in there.
Wait, so would these people count Jurassic Park as horror too? No, they wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't.
Okay.
No, that's more action-y.
All right.
This is hard. There's too many subgenres of horror.
Scream.
And
you're sticking with Scream?
Yeah, throw it out there. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna retract that one.
All right. Here. How about this one? All right. How about this one? Think knife in a shower scene.
Oh, Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho. Yeah. Excellent. Number 5.
That's what we should do. You should give us slight hint.
Yes. Okay.
There's too many ages. There's too many.
See, there's a
every 10 years there's a new.
Right.
The Omen? Is that up there? The Omen?
There's ghost type of horror.
Right.
There's adventure horror.
Okay, so next one would be think cannibal.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yep, absolutely. Number 9.
See, that's like a drama. Well, not like a drama, but that's like a suspense thriller.
Yeah. All right. You gotta rev start this one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 8. Number 7.
Evil Dead.
Kurt Russell, Keith David, John Carpenter. Any idea?
No. Shut up, Carrie.
It's gotta be Gary.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Carpenter does sound like everything, but
Suicide Squad?
Shut your mouth.
That was pretty scary.
It's very bad.
It kind of terrified me.
Let's go to number 4. Get away from her, you B-word.
Oh, Alien.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4.
That's true.
Gary, I'm very sad about you not getting that one.
He's only seen Alien because of me.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that's true. This one, I forget the punchline, but honey, I'm home.
Oh, it's that's
The Shining. Yeah.
Number 1.
Daddy.
Rad.
And you guys got number 3. Okay, I'm just going through my list here. You're missing 7 and 8. So then the only things you're missing are Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got that. Okay, so then the only thing you're missing was The Thing.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, that was the one I've never seen.
What was number 1?
The Shining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Shining, number 1. Halloween, number 2. The Exorcist, number 3. Alien, number 4. Psycho, number 5. A Nightmare on Elm Street, number 6.
Yeah.
7. The Thing. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, number 8. Silence of the Lambs, number 9. And Jaws, coming in at number 10.
So not Carrie.
No,
That's what you're saying.
Carrie,
It's so hard. A top 10 list of horror films
But
is extremely
It's not top 10 list
hard.
of best horror films. It's top 10 list of horror films voted on by people. So like,
Yeah, it's because
So you gotta think popular.
yeah.
That's what the.
I almost said like Paranormal Activity just because like
You
when do
almost
these
said
people vote?
Carrie, but I'm glad you didn't. Alright, so go ahead and I will give a little drum roll and you tell the good people at home what we have.
Ooh, what the movie is for next week?
Yes.
The movie for next week is the newest installment from masterful auteur Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. We're going back to Dunkirk, lads.
I thought it was gonna happen so much sooner, so I kept saying bye. And by the way, Carrie, number 15.
Hey!
Scream 14.
Hey, there it is.
And Friday the 13th, number 11.
There you go.
So look at that. We were like right.
Rosemary's
top.
Baby, 17. So you guys are right there. All right.
I can give you like a top 50.
Oh, really?
She could just go and go.
Where is Jeepers Creepers on this list for you guys? What do you think?
Ooh, I'm gonna say like 24.
21.
We're at 45.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, impressive.
Candyman? You guys ever seen Candyman?
Yes, that's creepy as crap.
Number 50. Predator.
Gross. Predator?
Number 50. That's not bad.
Okay. It's more
Blair
action.
Witch Project, all the way down in 49.
Yeah, that one's a creepy one.
Yeah. All right. Went a little long on this one. Thank you to everybody listening on and for all of our rambling. Excuse us. Don't mind our rambling. And Gary, why don't you go ahead and plug your fantastic Golden Cogged reviews?
I gotta tell you guys about this thing. I've been doing it for the last 57 years. Every movie I watch, I write a review on this great blog called Gare Bear Reviews. That is GARBEAR Reviews.wordpress.com. Check it out. We're sponsored by Nike, Adidas, A24. I'm backed. I mean, if just look at the testimonials. They're great. The reviews are awesome. Like them, share them, read them, love me. Check it out.
Somebody has 5 stars right down here and says, I rated this 5 stars. It's a fantastic review.
This is a pretty good blog, I guess.
Pretty good blog,
Yes.
I guess. Straight from...
I mean, my dog, he loves it.
Yeah, and of course, the character of Caesar is the cornerstone of this franchise. The underlying reason why these films really work.
That's an exact excerpt from my review on
Just
Planet
if you want to hear
Apes.
this and more magical, fantastic things from this review, please go read my friend's reviews. I'm sorry, I'm actually getting lost in these pictures. Great gifts.
It's cool,
Great
huh?
gifts. Yes, Andy Serkis in costume. All right. For everybody here from Chop Greens, it has been
Gary Boucher.
And Maddie Mays.
And I'm Philip Amerine. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can listen to everything of our old episodes archived in the YouTube channel. And of course, all of our newest episodes on SoundCloud. Thank you so much for listening. And
Bye.